Our story kicks off in April, that classic back-to-school time in Korea. The teacher announces, "We have a new student. Please introduce yourself." Enter Park Mina. She's beaming, totally pretty, and as soon as she says her name and does that cute little bow, the whole class is melting. Students are clapping, whispering, "She's gorgeous!" And the teacher tells everyone to look out for her and be nice. Mina thinks to herself, relieved, "Oh, I'm so happy everyone looks bright and friendly. Phew." The teacher tells Mina to take the empty desk in the back. Mina replies, "Yes," and heads for her spot, but she immediately feels something weird, a chill. She thinks, "Huh? Why is it so cold?" She glances over at her neighbor's desk and notices cruel graffiti scratched into it. "Loser sits here." Mina catches on instantly. Is she being bullied? She looks at the girl's hands and sees she's super skinny and covered in plasters and bandages on her fingers. And there's more. Mina catches a specific scent coming off her and thinks, what is that smell? Cigarettes? Or is it incense? Mina, keeping her distance, tries to be friendly and break the ice. She smiles and manages a hesitant, "Hi, what's your name?" The other girl immediately assumes Mina is judging her, thinking, she looks depressed. That's what she must be thinking. The girl is frozen stiff, clutching her phone. This is Shin Naerim. This is where we dive into Naerim's mind. While she's like a statue in real life, her mind is racing. She narrates to us that she makes dolls and writes online novels. And she's not a nobody. Her blog is super popular with thousands of hits, and she was even named one of the year's power bloggers. In the classroom, she doesn't say a word. People online describe her as an honest and inspiring writer. On her phone, her fingers are flying, typing fast. Mina is impressed by the speed. Naerim explains, "Basically, I'm a keyboard warrior with a strong online presence, but it's not a negative one since I don't write mean comments. And unlike how she is offline, online she is incredibly bright and sociable." Park Mina there says, "I hope we can get along." Naerim reveals that the protagonist of her novel is her complete opposite. Always bright and brave, perfect life, rich boyfriend, loving family, and supportive friends. She projects into fiction what she lacks in reality. Back to the cold reality, Naerim gives Mina her response.
"You'd better not talk to me."
Mina is confused. What? While Naerim thinks about how her character overcomes everything and gets a happy ending, reality comes knocking, or smacking. Some girls walk up and assault Naerim with a hard smack to the head. The bullies laugh and the main aggressor says, "Hey Wig, you heard the teacher, right? Be nice to the new girl." Two other girls tell Mina, "Let's be best friends." Mina only manages a timid yes. Naerim thinks my life, however, is a mess. They call her Wig and Witch Girl. These have been her nicknames since elementary school. Mina stands there asking if Naerim is okay. The teacher notices the commotion and yells, "Stop messing around back there." The bullies cover up. "Yes, yes." Naerim, bleeding with a defeated look, thinks, "This isn't a joke, teacher." The teacher finishes, "Don't get too hyped up about tomorrow's school trip." The next day, the class is gathered near the buses. Naerim is there, isolated, thinking, "I hate this." Suddenly, bam! A girl bumps into her, and Naerim falls over like a broomstick, landing face first in a mud puddle. The bully says, "Watch where you're going, Wig." And the other one says, "Girl, you pushed her." The bully adds, "Ugh, she made the mud get on me." The others laugh, "Hilarious, she fell right into the puddle." Naerim laments, "It's barely started, and I still have 48 hours to go." Later, everyone is gathered in an auditorium. The instructor warns, "Okay, open up your bags, I'm going to check what you brought." While bags are being passed or opened, one of the bullies slips a bag to Naerim and whispers, "If they find out, you're dead." Naerim accepts it silently. Naerim opens the bag, and when she sees what's inside, she's instantly shocked. It's full of liquor bottles. Naerim freezes. Crap! And at that exact moment, the teacher appears behind her and furiously asks, "Shin Naerim, what is this?" Naerim is paralyzed with fear. Naerim thinks, "I'm dead." The teacher confiscates the bag. The surrounding students whisper, "Wow, damn, how many bottles is that?" She is so screwed. Naerim trembles, feeling the judging looks. "Don't look at me like that." Night falls. The atmosphere in the girls' room is awful. One of the girls complains, "Our one school trip is ruined now." Naerim is in a corner, isolated as always. Her phone vibrates. Ring ring. It's a notification from her blog. A new comment on her novel. "Wow, amazing. Your writing is so good I thought you were in your 20s. For a second, a microsecond, Naerim forgets the hell she's in. She smiles. Fatal mistake. A pillow slams into her head. The bullies turn into monsters. "Wig, you're smiling when we're all pissed off." They start beating Naerim with pillows, kicking her and throwing snacks at her. "Eat this, Wig." Another one in the corner yells, "Don't waste our chips." It's a scene of total humiliation. Suddenly, a voice cuts through the noise. "Hey, stop it." The room falls silent. It's Song Gina, and the girl next to her starts coughing. There's dust in the air. Myung has asthma. Naerim narrates to us, "Everyone likes Gina because she's cute. We used to be pretty close. Not anymore. It still surprises me that we were friends once." Gina, with a sly smile, changes the focus to cheer everyone up. "Guys, I have an idea. Let's go outside and do something fun." Someone asks, "Like what?" Gina says, "There's an abandoned church nearby. Let's see who's the bravest out of all of us." The group stops in front of the church, and the vibe is straight up horror movie. It's this old building, cross on top, everything pitch black. One of them blurts out, "What if there's a real ghost? Let's just go back." But the leader, Gina, can't resist being toxic. She turns and says, "What are you scared of? I mean, Shin Naram's mom is a shaman." Naram freezes. You can see the trauma in her eyes. She thinks, "Yeah, my mom's a shaman. That's why they call me Witch Girl. But I'm not the shaman. My mom is." She's terrified too. Gina, pretending she's brave, goes, "This is nothing. It's just dark, you cowards." Naram thinks, "Come on, Gina, your voice is shaking. You're scared too." Out of nowhere, a loud noise comes from inside. The girls scream, huddle together, trying to figure out what it was. One points. The sound, it came from there. That cabinet. Instead of leaving, Song Gina shoves Naram hard toward the noise. Naram crashes onto the dirty floor. From the back, Gina orders, "Go open it, Shin Naram." Naram's trembling, bleeding. She gets up, looks at the cabinet, and sees something that chills her blood, a talisman inside the church. Weird. She remembers her mom's warning, "Don't remove that carelessly." She hesitates, but the bully's pressure is worse than the fear of the supernatural. Gina threatens, "Open it before I hit you again." Another bully laughs, "Hey, what if something's really inside? Whatever it is will run away after seeing her face, haha." With no way out, thinking, "My life can't get worse than this," Naram makes her choice. Even knowing tearing the talisman could curse her, she grabs the paper. She rips the seal and the doors creak open. What's inside? A monster? A demon? No. Naram's jaw drops. Whoa. Inside, surrounded by white lilies, is an insanely handsome man, arms crossed like he's lying in a coffin. The bullies in the back are confused. What the hell is that? Is that a man? That's a person? Suddenly the body slides forward. It falls right on top of Naram. The bullies see a pale, motionless body lying on her. They freak out and bolt. What the hell was that? That was a corpse? Run, just run! They ditch Naram, leaving her trapped under what they think is a dead body. Naram's paralyzed. It's a corpse? Murdered like in the movies? She tries to push him off, but he doesn't move. Ugh, he's so heavy! Then it's his hand lifts her. The guy's on top of her, face close to her neck, and he says, "You smell really delicious." He squeezes her arm. Naram's totally confused. He calmly asks, "Can I take a bite of you?" Her reaction is priceless. She doesn't think vampire, she thinks, "A creep?" He sees the blood on her injured arm. He grabs it, trembling, and he licks the blood. He runs his tongue over the open wound. His face lights up like he just had the best dessert ever. You're really delicate. Naram's not sticking around to be dinner, or worse in her mind. She kicks the vampire hard in the face. The guy's stunned. Naram seizes the chance, gets up and runs like there's no tomorrow, yelling for help. "Somebody help!" The vampire sits on the floor groaning. "Ow," he mutters. "Skinny but stronger than I thought." He wipes the blood from his mouth, eyes predatory and intrigued. Huh? Meanwhile, Naram's sprinting through the dark forest, panting, thinking she escaped. But then we see an incredible visual detail. A red thread of energy shoots out from the church, chasing her. It latches onto her leg as she runs. The next day, the vibe is pure moral hangover. The students are dragging themselves around the woods like zombies. The teacher lets them go. "All right, free time, guys. Be back here at 6. While the class cheers and starts planning the night party, we're staying up all night. Naram is stuck in survival mode. She walks heavy, depressed, thinking, "Phew, just gotta survive one more day." But Naram's got a bigger problem than boredom. Remember that red thread from the church? Yeah, it's still there. She looks at her leg and thinks, what is this thing since yesterday? It's freaky. It cuts through everything. Trees, people, objects, totally untouchable by the physical world. And the worst part? She has no clue what's on the other end. She tries to play it off, walking all crooked, shaking her leg to see if it'll come loose. She wonders, can I rip this off? Of course, the snakes, her classmates, are watching. They can't see the thread, so all they see is Naram acting weird. What's wrong with her? She's creeping me out. What if she's actually possessed by a ghost? Her witch girl reputation just keeps growing. Suddenly, something hits Naram. She grabs her head. Ow. And here they come, the cruel giggles. Stop trying to get attention. Don't be mean, she just needs a little attention. Naram boils inside. She shoots them a death glare. In her mind, she screams, so rude and shallow. But in real life, when Songjina notices the glare and barks, "What are you looking at?" Naram shrinks. She can't say a word. Gina takes advantage. "Wig, go buy me a drink, I'm thirsty." She even pokes Naram's head with her finger. Naram stays quiet, and another bully chimes in. "Answer! Cat got your tongue?" Gina's friend laughs. "Don't worry, she'll do whatever you ask anyway, so stupid and obedient." Naram walks off, defeated, heading to buy the drinks. She thinks, my self-esteem just hit rock bottom. The red thread is still there. She gets to the little shop. Holding the soda cans, she sighs. She starts daydreaming. In her head, she's a samurai, a martial artist. I wish I could fight, like in movies or anime. She imagines slicing the bullies with a katana. Epic. Back to reality, she decides she won't let it slide. She grabs a soda can and starts shaking it hard. The plan? If she touches me again, she's getting a taste of my... She preps the pressurized can like a grenade and, bam, accidentally smacks it right into the face of a guy walking by. A tall, red-haired dude covered in piercings. Narum freezes. Crap, says sorry. The guy's cocky, he wipes his face. What the hell? Shouldn't you be apologizing properly to me? He scans her up and down. Narum's trembling, clutching the cans to her chest. Then his expression changes. He points at her. Wait, you're Narum, right? It's me, Hyo-Yol. Narum's confused. Hyo-Yol? Lee Hyo-Yol? The guy grins wide and pulls her into a bear hug. It's been so long, 3 years already? Quick flashback. 3 years ago, Hyo-Yol was a short, chubby kid with a runny nose, always calling her Nuna, big sis in Korean. Now, the dude's a giant, 6 feet tall, while Narum's barely 5'3". He teases her, "Sis, what happened to you? You shrank!" Narum thinks, how did he get so tall? He adds, you still look depressed with that long hair. Narum thinks, don't mock me with that smug smile. He was way calmer as a kid. While they're catching up, you came on the school trip too? Hyo-Yol's friends are hitting on Gina's group, lying about being older, saying they're college students. Stuff like, we're from Seoul University, already planning a group hangout. Gina plays hard to get. Nah, thanks, we're fine alone. We can't look desperate, gotta reject them at least once. But then Hyo-Yol grabs his buddy by the neck and ruins the act. College students? Shut up! Gina recognizes his face. Lily Hyo-Yol, how? Her friends start drooling, thinking he looks like a model. He goes, Gina's here too? Her friends are confused. Wait, you guys know each other? Gina whispers, pale. Yeah. She drops the bomb. He's the pastor's son. What? But he looks like a total punk. And the worst part, they're all middle schoolers, younger than us. Hyo-Yol, shameless, flashing peace signs. Now that we've met, let's have fun, girls. His buddy's sweating bullets, thinking, dating younger guys is trendy these days, even if my friends look kinda old. Hyo-Yol, the oppa from middle school, is all smiles asking, so you girls ready to have some fun? The bullies, led by Gina, try to act grown up. No, we don't date kids. The boys push back, but we look like we're over 20. One of the girls drops the gem, go drink more breast milk, and then adds, most important, there are 4 girls and 5 guys. The math doesn't add up for the bullies, they're 4. Who's the 5th? Hyo-Yol points at Narum. What are you talking about? Don't forget Narum, it's 5 on 5. The bullies are in total shock. The wig? They can't believe he put the witch on their level. Their egos take a fatal hit. Hyo-Yol's friends are like, damn, Hyo-Yol, you know a lot of girls. Hyo-Yol grins. Told you guys you need to start going to church. He invites Narum specifically. Nuna, you should come back to our church. I'll make sure you have a good experience. Now his friends are already planning to show up at church this weekend. Narum thinks he's doing everything he can to recruit new followers. The bullies whisper and laugh. Why would the daughter of a shaman who follows random ghosts go to church? Gina scoffs. Oh, please. The boys are intrigued. Shaman, that's cool. Who? That girl who looks like Sadako? From The Ring. Hyo-Yol launches into a speech about agape, God's unconditional love, and how everyone should be treated equally, whether it's the neighbor or the shaman's daughter. While he's preaching, his basketball teammates, all tall, surround Narum, curious. First time I've seen such a young shaman. Narum thinks, hold up, I'm just the daughter of a shaman. The boys keep going. Nuna, do you really see ghosts? Can you read my fortune, my future? Gina cuts in, trying to drag Hyo-Yol away. Let's go, we need to be back before 6. But he ignores her. Narum Nuna is my partner, and gives her another bear hug. Narum's being crushed, thinking, ugh, he's so hyper. The bullies watch from afar, foaming with rage. They feel like extras in their own movie. How can he be so in a wig, idiot? Well, that's middle schoolers for you. Go play by yourselves. They walk off, and the boys don't get it. Hey, why are they suddenly so mean? Let's have fun. The girls just say, have fun, babies. Hyo-Yol mentions he's on the basketball team. Narum says it figures since they're all so tall. He invites her to watch them play, and she agrees. But Gina won't miss a chance to humiliate Narum. As the group walks, she turns back and whispers, hey Wig, not coming? Find another guy. He's in middle school, aren't you ashamed? Narum lags behind, blushing. She was just listening to a classmate's updates, nothing more. She feels sad. Then Hyo-Yol notices something's wrong. When Narum tries to catch up, he grabs her arm. Wait. He hugs her, types his number, and says, call me if anyone bothers you. I'll beat them all up. The bullies see this and explode with fury. They drag Narum away. Hyo-Yol's left confused. His friends complain, what the hell, only you scored, selfish. And Hyo-Yol repeats, like I always say, go to my church. Back at the dorm, the mood is heavy. Time for payback. So Wig, who do you think you are ignoring us? You were pretty chatty in front of that boy. I thought you didn't talk. Narum thinks, here we go again. Another excuse for witch hunt. She narrates how the bullying works. They don't hit her to avoid leaving marks. They use psychological pressure and isolation. Narim would rather get beaten. At least she'd have proof to report it. They always push her down, saying things like, "We're not on the same level. You're a loser." Being introverted makes Narim the perfect prey, and being the shaman's daughter is the excuse they use to attack. They keep going. Gina says, "That bitch is ignoring us again." Another suggests, "Punch her. Maybe she'll squeak, like those stuffed animals that squeak." They mock Narim's fantasies. "We know you daydream about guys, but a middle schooler?" Narim thinks, "Yeah, if only this were a K-drama, the male lead would show up and save the damsel in distress." But reality's different, or maybe not. At that exact moment, a message from Hyo-Yul pops up on Narim's phone. The bullies keep plotting. "Since we don't want to share the room with her, how about we lock her out tonight?" They shove Narim onto the balcony and lock the glass door. Gina laughs from inside. "Beg us, then we'll open the door." "You." She looks even more like a ghost. "Close the curtains." Narim's alone, cold, on the dark balcony. Already discouraged, she thinks of her fantasy. A knight in shining armor on a white horse, but sadly, that doesn't exist. And then, what shows up isn't a Prince Charming. The red thread on her leg glows. Perched on the balcony railing, crouched like a predator, is Fatecho, the vampire. He grins with sharp teeth and says, "Found you, Asian witch." Narim screams, "Ah, what is that?" Not the prince of her fantasies, but close enough. A prince on a black steed appeared. Inside, through the glass, the bullies are pale, totally shocked, staring at that shadowy figure. The vampire looks at Narim and drops a cold line. "Looks like they abandoned you." Then he makes the offer you can't refuse. "So that means I can take you away?" Without waiting for an answer, consent clearly isn't a vampire thing, he says, "Then, now." And in a flash, scoops Narim up in his arms and leaps off the building. "Let's go!" Narim screams in her head, "Ah!" But not out loud. She can't even open her mouth. Her brain glitches. He's not a prince. He's a messenger of death. They fly through the night, full moon behind them. The vampire, holding her, asks, "Not even a little scream?" He probably thinks she fainted, but she's screaming internally. He asks, "Why won't you open your eyes?" And she thinks, "Did we already reach the underworld?" When Narim finally opens her eyes, she blurts, "Wow, the view is gorgeous." They land in the yard of an isolated temple. Narim hides behind a tree thinking, "What is this place? And isn't this the creep from yesterday?" The vampire calls out, "Shorty, did you fall asleep?" She notices something weird. The red thread from her leg is connected to his neck, and there's a metal collar there. Suddenly, a new character appears. A bald little kid dressed like a monk jumps in with a staff. "You!" It's the young monk, Sam Mi. He's furious. Where did he run off to? When he spots Narim, he freaks, You there, a ghost woman?" Narim starts trembling. She yanks the red thread and the vampire, who was hiding up in a tree, crashes down in front of the monk. Damn, what is this red thread anyway? The monk starts whacking the vampire on the head with his staff. "You little bat!" The vampire defends himself, using Narim as a shield excuse. "She pulled me out, don't blame me. She's a person, she's human." The monk says, "Don't try to fool me, a mere ghost couldn't break my talisman." But the vampire insists she's just human. The monk studies Narim. He senses a strong aura and realizes, "You're not ordinary. Nuna, you're a shaman?" Narim denies it, the monk gets mad. "No way, you must be one." Then Narim explains, "My mom's the shaman." The monk beams proudly. "Ha, ha, ha, see, I wasn't wrong, the aura's the same." They introduce themselves. The monk's name is Sam Mi. He exorcises ghosts. Narim thinks, what a weird kid. The monk explains the vampire's backstory. He found the vampire and tried to help him become human, feeding him garlic and mugwort, a nod to the Korean bear-to-woman legend. But the vampire didn't last a week. He killed to get blood. As punishment, the monk locked him in the cabinet. The vampire grumbles he only killed a chicken, but the monk says every life is precious. Narim apologizes. "I didn't know. I shouldn't have broken the seal." She asks if he's a monster, a goblin, or something like that. Most important, do you know how to get rid of this thread? But the monk can't see the thread. Narim tries to explain how it appeared, but gets embarrassed. The vampire explains it formed when he, licked her bloody wound the night before. And not just the thread. The metal collar on his neck appeared at that moment, too. Narim and the monk, horrified, think, Dog chain? Sammy thinks for a moment and gives the verdict. A master-servant bond has been formed. Both are shocked. "What?" The monk says there's no use crying over spilled milk. Narim's responsible for him now. "You need to take him with you. Please take care of this troublemaker." Narim panics. "Wait, you said he's some kind of monster!" Sammy corrects. He's not exactly a monster. He pulls the vampire's cheek to show the fangs. He's a Western vampire, drinks human blood. Narim's like, "A vampire?" The monk's solution? Simple. Just think of him as a giant dog. Narim screams in her head, "Don't make it sound so easy. He drinks blood." The monk, tired and without a phone, decides to go to bed and leaves them outside. "I'm sleeping early to train tomorrow. Bye." "Thanks, Nuna." Narim and the vampire are left outside holding bags of garlic, tied together by the red thread of fate, or slavery. Narim has no idea what to do. Suddenly she hears a sob. The vampire is crying, real tears rolling down his face. Naerim, naive, thinks he's crying. He really doesn't want to come with me. She actually feels sorry for him. But then, surprise! Fetecho's expression flips in an instant and he grabs Naerim in a bear hug. He rubs his face against her and says, "Finally found you." Naerim panics as he sniffs her neck. That sweet smell. I knew it. The tears? Pure joy or hunger? He kneels like some gothic gentleman and formally introduces himself. "Allow me to present myself. My name is Vlad Fetechu. I've been searching everywhere for you." To seal the meeting, he plants a delicate kiss on her wrist. Naerim freezes. He smiles and drops, "Pleasure to meet you, Master." Naerim remembers what the monk said. He tried to make Fetecho human by feeding him garlic and mugwort, the diet from the Korean bear legend. But the vampire didn't last a week. He killed for blood. Result, he failed the test and stayed a blood-sucking monster. Cut to the school dorm. Chaos everywhere. Everyone's looking for Naerim. Song Gina and her crew tell the truth. A man in black grabbed her and jumped off the balcony, but nobody believes them. They think it's some creepy internet forum story. The official version becomes, Naerim snuck out for a secret night walk. Naerim manages to come back in one piece, probably flying with Fetechu, and the confusion dies down. She's in bed thinking, so heavy. Am I having another nightmare? Suddenly, Fetechu mumbles in his sleep, "Master, I'm hungry," and he bites her shoulder. Naerim shivers and jumps, yelling at him not to get near her. Fetechu tries to calm her. Okay, I'm a good obedient boy." Then, holding one of her clothes, he says she should clean up the mess. Naerim blushes, embarrassed, and yanks the thread from his neck. It's 2:22 a.m. Both of them are awake, exhausted, and starving. Naerim, trying to solve the thread problem, decides to feed the beast. She grabs the bag the monk gave her and a bowl full of garlic and herbs. Fetechu looks disgusted and trembles. "Haven't you watched movies? Vampires hate garlic." Naerim insists, "You need to turn human. Didn't you say you wanted to disconnect from me?" Fetechu explains the Korean method. Garlic doesn't work on him. He says, "We tried that once. I need something else." She asks what he needs. He smirks, moves closer, and says, "Your blood." He recites the terms of the magic contract. "In exchange for a shaman's blood, I'll become your dog and protect you with my life." Naerim freezes, thinking, "No, parasite, blood-sucking monster." Fetechu ignores her, starts sniffing the wound on her leg, and says, "Just one bite." Naerim doesn't want to, but the vampire insists, "Why not? You want me gone as fast as possible, right? It'll be quick." She's scared of the pain, but he says it's fine. He'll do it in a way that doesn't hurt. What a bizarre conversation. Naerim thinks the same thing. Naerim's scared of the bite, but Fetecho starts licking the wound on her leg. She shivers, heart racing, thinking she's about to lose a chunk of her leg. Suddenly, a cracking sound. Naerim panics and shoves him. "What are you eating?" Fetechu, looking totally satisfied, answers, "Your scab." Naerim is horrified. He even puts on a little act, apparently imitating a TV commercial, saying the snack was delicious. Naerim bursts out laughing. She thought he was eating her leg, and asked how he even knows that commercial. He gives the obvious answer, watching TV. Then he says he's never seen her smile before, and that her smile is beautiful. She gets shy, wondering how he can say stuff like that so easily. Then she notices the scars on her leg are gone. He explains, "The magical power of immortal saliva. Healing's fast. Her leg is smooth, no scar at all. He healed her with a lick." Naerim notices the red thread is gone too, but Fetechu warns, the thread didn't disappear. It probably just turned invisible. He explains the golden rule of the contract. The thread will show up if you get hurt. If it reappears, I can come save you anytime, anywhere, my master. Sounds like a good deal, right? He seals the promise with a hug, saying their contract is perfect. Naerim, of course, is flustered. Fetechu complains he's suffocating in this place and wants out. He hasn't left since he got here. He begs her to take him for a walk or he'll die of boredom. Naerim steps back immediately and the vampire face plants. She's embarrassed, he's in pain. So she tells him to stop saying stuff like, "I'll die," as if it's nothing. Fetechu argues people say that all the time, and besides, he won't die. He's a vampire. Naerim says she knows, but people say it casually. They don't really know what it means to want to die. If they truly did, they would. Then she realizes she's taking it too personally, getting too emotional, and now the mood feels heavy. She starts putting herself down, thinking, "Of course I'm just a weirdo. What should I do? I'm too embarrassed to even turn around." She's tense. Then the vampire comes up behind her, notices she's not okay, hugs her, holds her hands. He looks at her hand and says, "My master, you've been so lonely, haven't you? I'm sorry. I'll never say things like that again." Naerim feels his cold lips touch her skin, the chill spreading through her veins, hitting her heart. Her eyes fill with tears. Then the vampire says, "I think witches are always lonely. It was the same where I grew up. And do you know why?" Naerim thinks, because witches are ugly. But before she finishes, he pulls her close and says, "It's because people were jealous of them." Naerim, shocked, asks, "Jealous of what?" He brushes her hair away from her eyes and says, "Witches are beautiful." Later at school, the vampire's words are still stuck in Naerim's head. "What do you mean witches are beautiful?" She looks in the mirror, questioning herself. Where's this beauty I don't see? While she's at the bathroom mirror, some girls come in gossiping. "Hey, do you believe the rumor from the school trip? Then they see Naram in the mirror, and one whispers, "Should we ask her?" The other replies, "No, hurry up and go poop." But when Naram tries to slip out quietly, one girl stops her. "Did you really see a ghost on the balcony?" Naram freezes, not knowing if she should tell the truth. The girl presses, "Did you or didn't you?" Naram, nervous, thinks, "Why are they talking to me out of nowhere? What do I even say?" At that moment, two more show up, the bullies. They immediately find it weird that Naram's chatting with the other girls. The two girls bail fast so they don't get dragged into it, and Naram takes the chance to escape too, thinking, "Phew, I thought my heart was gonna jump out of my mouth." Later, Naram's walking down the hall while two guys are talking about the budget for snacks and drinks for the students. She passes by with her head down. One of the guys notices her, looking puzzled. He seems to recognize her. Naram walks into the classroom, and when she gets close to her seat, it's covered in powder. She doesn't even have time to process it before someone throws powder on her, saying, "They say salt is the best cure for someone possessed by a ghost. I was worried about you, you weirdo. I spent 1,201 of my own money. No need to thank me." Then the bell rings and the teacher says, "Okay, everyone, take your seats, each in your own place." Naram starts brushing the salt off her things, and the teacher notices right away and asks, "Hey, you there, what are you doing?" The class starts whispering like, "What's she doing? Trying to get attention? Is she bragging about getting bullied?" Naram lowers her head onto the desk, and the teacher snaps from the front, "Who's that in the back? Hey, class just started and you're already sleeping? Get up now!" Naram starts crying, and Park Meena next to her notices. Naram stays there crying, thinking, Why can't you see, teacher? Is it because you don't want to see? Or are you just pretending not to? It's always like this. Next to her, the two girls keep mocking her like, "Whoa! It smells like salt," and the other one says, "What, she's crying over this?" It was just a little joke. Park Meena, seeing the situation, starts feeling sad too and hands Naram a tissue. After class, Naram gets home and says, "I'm home." Her mom is gone and left a note saying, "Went to pray at Mount Myeonjin." Naram reads the note and just stands there silently, alone again. Or not, because the vampire suddenly appears behind her saying, "Welcome back." Naram jumps and says, "Hey, don't sneak up on me like that. You scared me." The vampire says, Sorry, it's in my jeans." Then Naram notices he's eating something and asks what it is. "Is that pudding?" He says, "Oh, this? It's blood curd." Naram shivers and the vampire adds, "I can't believe you can drink blood legally here in Korea. Korea's the best. It's not fresh, but it's drinkable. Real or fake? That part is a lie, folks." Naram feels her stomach turn and thinks, "That's one menu item I'm never trying." She sighs. And when she enters her room, it's a disaster. She thinks, what happened in here? She starts boiling with anger, and the vampire casually asks, "Huh? Something wrong?" If only he knew. Naram yells at him, "What on earth did this guy do?" She orders him to clean up the mess, and he doesn't even argue, because Naram is seriously furious. While he's cleaning, Naram thinks he's like a talking puppy. She looks at her stuffed bear and gets an idea. She calls the vampire over and gives him the little bell that was around the bear's neck. She tells him he'll need it while he's living in this house so she can hear him. Now he's officially a house pet. The vampire says, "Wait, I'm a vampire." Naram hears the bell jingling on his neck and tries not to laugh, but she fails. She pats him on the back and says, "Fetichu, you look like a little cat. So cute." He looks back at her with a serious expression. Naram immediately pulls away, thinking, "Uh-oh, I went too far," and apologizes. The vampire steps closer and says, I didn't know you were like this." Naram feels relieved when she realizes he isn't angry. Then she starts reflecting, thinking that it had been such a long time since she could express herself and be who she really is. It had been ages since she felt this comfortable. She thinks, Fetichu doesn't look down on me. He accepts me the way I am. The pain I feel at school is disappearing. And who cares if he's a vampire or some kind of monster? He might be a better friend than any human. She ends up falling asleep. When she wakes up, she checks the time on her phone and then notices the vampire lying next to her and gets scared. He says good morning and she thinks, great, there's a man in my bed. If anyone finds out, I'll never get married. The girl is already dishonored. The vampire says, Master, can't you skip school today? You always seem so sad after you come back. Naram thinks, he doesn't know what I go through at school, and says, all students are like that, as if anyone actually likes studying. Then she realizes something. The vampire asks what it is, and when she looks more closely, she runs to the bathroom, and the vampire starts banging on the door asking what's going on. She says it's nothing. He's confused, keeps knocking, asking if she's hurt, telling her to open the door. She tells him to shut up. Then we finally see why. She opens the door slowly and bolts out. The vampire smells the blood and instantly freezes, hypnotized, saying she smells delicious. It doesn't matter where it comes from. If it's blood, a vampire can't hold back and immediately wants to feed. Narim throws a stuffed animal at him, hides under her blanket, and thinks, I'm going to lose it. How am I supposed to go to school like this? No way. Then she tells the vampire, I'm not going to school today. That's when the vampire realizes what's happening and asks if she's on that time of the month. Naram is mortified he even asked. He says nobody else can see the string anyway, so it's fine for her to go to school. Narim, totally done with him, asks if he wants to get punched. Then she throws a pillow at him. He gets closer and says it's fine. He's actually happy she's not going to school today. Then he opens the laptop and asks if she wants to watch a movie. She asks if he even knows how to use a computer, and he says, "Of course I do. I've been in the world's top IT hub, Korea, for 150 years. He warns her not to get too close because he might not be able to control himself. So he tells her to stay back and give him orders from afar, like a master. Then he grabs a hot drink and some chips. He turns off his phone, saying it's time to relax, but thinks, no one ever calls me anyway, so whatever. Narim drinks the hot beverage while the vampire messes with the computer. Then she asks how he ended up in this country. He explains he needs a witch who can turn him into a human, but all the witches in his neighborhood died because of witch hunts. He heard there were witches in Asia too. Narim interrupts and asks why he even wants to become human, like, isn't this better? You're special, you're strong. Don't you like that? The vampire thinks for a moment and says, that's a secret, for now. Narim thinks, is he planning something against me? He notices something on the floor and asks what it is. He sees their tarot cards and says, you're kind of like a real witch. But then he realizes all the cards are torn. Narim explains it's because her mother doesn't like her telling other people's futures. The vampire asks her to read his future, what will happen when he gets older. But Narim says torn cards can bring him bad luck. He says, it's fine, just existing is bad luck already. Narim thinks, well, all right then. She spreads out the cards and tells him to pick one. He picks one, she checks it, and death. She tries to play it off, saying people usually give her something before she does a reading. The vampire asks her to open her hands, then gives her his own like a dog giving its paws. Narim tells him to forget the tarot thing, but she keeps thinking about the card he drew and gets a bad feeling. Back at school, Mr. Guan is trying to call Narim, probably to figure out why she didn't show up. Another guy shows up, Lee Mujin, asking to look at the students' daily reports. Mr. Guan says he forgot about them and gives him the ID and password. Mujin seems like he's looking for someone, then sees Narim's file and says he knew it was her. Mr. Guan doesn't get it and asks if Mujin knows her. Mujin says she went to his church. Mr. Guan says he didn't know he was a church guy. Mr. Guan says that Narim is troublesome. She disappeared from the dorm during the field trip and has been skipping a lot of classes. Mujin says that doesn't make sense because Narim isn't the type to do that. Mr. Guan says that if he knows her personally, he should give her some advice. Mujin awkwardly says he'll look into it. As he's leaving, Gina shows up calling him Mujin Appa. Mujin says that at school she needs to call him teacher, and Gina apologizes. They leave together and she says she'll be more careful with how she speaks. The teacher says it's fine. Mujin says he saw Narim in the hallway yesterday, but she didn't recognize him. Gina starts flirting with the teacher and invites him to eat curry udon after choir practice. The teacher gets embarrassed, tells her to stop, and walks off, saying people might get the wrong idea. Gina doesn't like being scolded, and the teacher sighs, saying, good grief, girls these days. In the distance, Hyoril appears, and the girls around start swooning. He walks up to the teacher and Gina and says, hey Mujin, why are you coming out of the school? Mujin explains he was sent there to be a counselor and asks what Hyoril is doing there. Hyoril says he came to see Narim. Gina immediately finds it strange and asks why. He says it's to take her to church. Gina says he knows Narim doesn't go to church anymore, so it's pointless. But Hyoril says it's not that kind of church. It's a cool place called the Church of Hyoyol. Gina asks, does your dad know you're doing that? Then says Narim didn't come to school today. Hyoril asks why. Gina says she doesn't know, and adds that Narim has been like this since the start of high school. She doesn't talk to anyone, probably not fitting in. The teacher starts thinking about it, and Hyoril is confused. Gina starts getting irritated, thinking, great, everyone only talks about Narim. Narim this, Narim that. So we go into Gina's mind. Gina was a new student at the school. She'd come from the United States, and everyone welcomed her warmly. Rumors spread fast that Gina was the daughter of a very famous politician, that she was super rich, and even had a private driver. Gina thought having a famous father could be a headache, but she also knew she could use that in her favor. She started showing off her allowance, inviting classmates to eat with her, and just like that, Gina started getting noticed by everyone at school. All she needed was a smile and a few bribes to turn everything in her favor. One day, the teacher assigned a group project and everyone wanted to be in Gina's group. That's when she met Narim. The teacher asked Narim if she wanted to join someone's group. Narim just nodded, and that's when Gina noticed her for the first time. The teacher didn't know what to do, wondering where she should put Narim. Then Gina said, it's fine, she can join us, our group. So far so good, right? No, not even Narim believed it. The teacher said, great, Narim, you're in Gina's group. Even the teacher thought about Gina. I heard her family is rich, so I figured she'd be selfish or something. Then the girls whispered to Gina that Narim was the outcast at school. Nobody liked her. They said they'd heard that Narim's mom was a shaman, and if anyone hung out with Narim, they might end up possessed. but Gina thought that was nonsense, like, come on, ghosts aren't real. Still, the girls kept begging her not to get close to Narim. Even so, Gina said she felt sorry for Narim, and they ended up doing the group project together. At first, Gina only wanted to make a good impression on adults. She wanted to look like a nice kid who helps others in need. But after the group project, Narim started talking to Gina, only to Gina, and the other kids started gossiping about it. Gina wasn't happy about that, but she still wanted to be seen as a good kid who accepts everyone. She loved the feeling of moral superiority, and the teacher would shower her with praise, telling Gina's mom she had raised a wonderful daughter who was always studious, got along with everyone, and had great leadership skills. But then Gina realized she was making a mistake. One day, Narim timidly invited Gina to her birthday party. Gina immediately thought, what? She doesn't even have friends. Is she planning a party with just the two of us, or what? So Gina answered, I can't. I have to go to church this Sunday. Narim looked sad but didn't push. Gina then felt bad and invited Narim to come with her to church. Sunday came and Narim showed up at the church and went straight to talk to Gina. When Gina saw her, all she thought was, she looks so pathetic. So Gina decided to give Narim some tips like, don't leave your bangs like that, you look like a ghost. When Gina touched Narim's hair, she thought, did she not wash her hair? Gina tied Narim's hair back and Narim thanked her, saying she'd return the ribbon later. But Gina, disgusted, thought, gross, now it's dirty, and told Narim she didn't need to return it. She could consider it a birthday present. Narim was so moved she started crying. Then they watched the service, and afterward Mujin came to talk to Narim, saying he'd never seen her before. He asked her name, and she said Shin Narim.
Gina didn't miss her chance to brag and said she was the one who brought Narim. Mujin said he'd seen Narim singing in the back and asked if she had ever been to a church before. Narim said it was her first time, and she knew the songs because there's a church near her house so she can hear them. Mujin said that was great and hoped to see her more often.
Narim was happy, but Gina was jealous. Mujin said Gina was lucky because she'd just arrived in Korea and already had a friend taking care of her. Gina replied that they were just in the same class and thought, I'm the one who let her join me, isn't that obvious? And Gina started noticing a disgusting feeling inside herself. After that, Narim started going to church every week, even on days when Gina didn't go. But once they started secondary school, they barely saw each other anymore at school. One day, Narim suddenly showed up in Gina's classroom and asked if Gina could lend her PE clothes. Gina acted with contempt, disgust, and said, why are you asking me? Ashamed, Narim said never mind and apologized. The people with Gina didn't understand why Narim even talked to her, and Gina said it was because in elementary school she had talked to Narim a few times out of pity, and now she thinks they're friends. A guy asked who Narim was, like what was wrong with her, and another girl said Narim had been the outcast at the other school. The guy thought that was weird and said she seemed normal enough. The girl kept going, saying Narim used to be super creepy, with weird bangs covering her face, a total loser. Some people probably didn't know her past since they were in secondary school now, and there were even kids who ate lunch with her, though they were losers too. Hearing all that, Gina just said, whatever. As Gina got older and no longer felt the need to act like a perfectly polite kid, she finally realized where that irritating feeling came from. Narim still messaged her, and Gina started getting annoyed at how Narim acted like she was on the same level as her. As time went by, Narim slowly stopped being shy and started developing socially. She kept greeting Gina, but Gina ignored her, piling up more and more anger toward Narim. One of Narim's classmates thought that was weird and asked if Narim was friends with those girls because they ignored her when she greeted Gina. Narim answered that she was only friends with Gina. While Gina and her friend walked past them, Narim's classmate kept talking to Narim, saying things like, I'm scared of those girls. I heard they're mean girls with rich parents. And Gina, hearing that, only thought, what a bunch of losers. But Narim responded, no, I don't know about the others, but Gina isn't like that. Gina is really nice, so don't judge her. Even when Narim defended her, Gina hated it and thought, is she crazy? Now she's worried about me? Even that irritated Gina. Gina had always had a crush on Mujin, but Mujin always treated her like a little kid because she was one. And whenever Mujin praised Narim and Hyorul for a job well done, Gina got jealous. During a church meeting, Mujin invited Narim to join them on a mission trip to the Philippines, but for some reason Narim said she would go. Since he didn't know her real reasons, Mujin insisted and said it was a good opportunity, telling her to ask her parents for permission and adding that the church would help with travel costs. Gina couldn't stand the fact that Narim was getting so much attention. Even Hyorul said that if Narim went, he'd ask his dad for permission to go too. So Gina decided to expose Narim's secrets, saying, Narim didn't even tell her mom that she's been coming to church. And the reason is because Narim's mom is a shaman, so obviously her mom won't let her go anywhere. And also, her mom doesn't have extra money. Things are hard in her house, so it's better not to insist. Gina thought it wouldn't be a problem to be that harsh. After all, she was just pointing out facts, and taking initiative is the key to manipulating the environment. She even said to Moojin, "Can't you see you made her uncomfortable?" Moojin apologized and the gossiping began, while Narim froze, not knowing what to say. Narim, unable to stand the heavy atmosphere, ran off saying she was going to the bathroom. Moojin tried to follow her, but Gina held him back, saying Narim just went to the bathroom and it would be weird for him to follow her there. That was when Moojin started realizing Gina wasn't an innocent little kid. He wondered if she had done it on purpose. It was hard to believe a child would act that way, so he went after Narim anyway, leaving Gina boiling with rage. Even little Hyrael was starting to dislike her. Moojin found Narim outside, crying. From the window, Gina didn't believe it and thought Narim was faking it. Moojin apologized again to Narim and comforted her. After that, while Gina's friends were talking, Gina walked in crying, and of course they found it strange. After Gina explained what had happened at church, her friends obviously sided with her, saying that clearly Narim was hitting on Moojin, and ran off crying with fake tears. She was pretending. And Gina said that if it weren't for everything she had done for that loser Narim would still be lonely and excluded. Her friends agreed, saying that Narim had taken advantage of Gina's kindness, and that's why Narim always got bullied. There's always a reason, and that's when the hatred began. The gossip spread fast that Narim was flirting with the guy Gina liked. Some students thought it was strange because Moojin was around 25, and they even considered calling the police, but let it go because they knew it was just some girls' crushes, or maybe just Gina's. Then Narim started facing heavy bullying, beginning with insults on her desk. That was the start of the witch hunt. Gina's friends cornered Narim, attacking her and asking if she was the one stalking Gina at church and flirting with the guy she liked. Narim didn't understand any of it, stayed on the ground listening to the insults, being called pathetic. Gina's friends kept pressuring her, saying, "Gina was so nice to you, and this is how you repay her?" Narim ran off to find Gina, not knowing what was going on. She tried to say it was all a misunderstanding, and none of it was what Gina thought. Gina asked what she was even talking about, and said she wouldn't go to church anymore, and would stop talking to Moojin too. Hearing that, Narim said she had no idea Gina liked Moojin that much, and she kept saying, "Please, you're all I have, I'm sorry, Gina, please. I don't want to be alone again." But Gina only answered, "You didn't get it, did you? You were always alone. I only talked to you out of pity, that's all." Then the scene cuts to Narim waking up startled. The vampire asks if she's alright and whether she had a nightmare, another dream about the past. Just a dream. The vampire then hugs Narim, and she finds it strange that his hug is warm even though his hands are cold. He tells her that everything is fine now, and that if she wants to cry, she can cry. And the fact that he doesn't tell her to stop crying actually makes her feel better. Then Narim stops crying, feeling better, and the vampire asks again what the dream she had was about, and she answers that it was just things from the past. Then the vampire gives her a kiss on the cheek and says that he already took care of the wound on her knee, but what he wants now is to heal the wounds in her heart. Narim, embarrassed, tells him not to do things like that out of nowhere, and while she's thinking that the vampire Fatecho is always so nice to her no matter the reason, then she asks him why he's being so nice to her. The vampire leans in and says, "Because, you know, I need you." Narim pushes him and says, "That's cruel." The vampire doesn't understand and asks if it's wrong to be nice just because he needs her, and Narim answers that it is cruel, that he's only using her. But the vampire says she can use him too, and whatever she tells him to do, he'll do it. Narim says she doesn't need anything. She understands that this is just a master and servant relationship, and says she doesn't need anything from him, but she still thinks the whole thing is kind of unfair. The vampire asks if she really thinks that, says all right then, and says, "Goodbye, mistress." He walks toward the window to leave, but when he sees a bunch of crosses all over the city, he gives up and wonders if he's in hell. Narim holds back a laugh and asks if he's okay. The vampire comes back inside, saying he doesn't have anywhere else to go, and asks her to adopt him, and Narim keeps trying not to laugh. But then the vampire notices and comes up behind her, saying he saw her laughing and tells her to keep laughing. Then the vampire kneels and begs Narim not to abandon him because he really wants to become human, and he pleads for her help. Narim can't resist and starts petting him like he's some kind of animal, and the vampire smells the blood and starts drooling. Narim hits him and tells him to back off. The vampire still asks to smell her a little more, but Narim says no. The next day at school, Narim arrives at the teacher's office already getting scolded. The man tells her to come closer and asks if she doesn't want to go to college, because if she keeps skipping class like that, it'll be difficult. And he also says he can't get in touch with her mother. Narim apologizes in her mind, knowing her mother turns off her phone when she goes to pray, but she doesn't say anything because she thinks he wouldn't understand. Then the man says she can go, and as she walks down the hallway with her head down, she bumps into someone. She only sees the person's feet before he grabs her face and says that if she doesn't watch where she's going, she'll trip and fall. This person is Moojin. Narim is surprised and he asks how she's been, because it's been a while since they talked. At that moment, Horrible memories from the past flood Narim's mind. She starts shaking and runs off, bumping into Mujin again. Mujin doesn't understand why, and Narim doesn't understand what he's doing at this school. Mujin picks up his things and walks down the hallway, finding Narim's reaction strange. Then he sees Park Mina entering his room, which is the student counseling office. He sees Park Mina sitting down and apologizes, saying he's still preparing the room so there isn't much there yet, and asks if she wants something to drink. Mina answers that she doesn't need anything, and Mujin asks how he can help her.
Mina goes straight to the point,
saying that she's not the one who needs help, and says she thinks that in her class there's someone being bullied.